Well, you've said a few different things that kind of bring me to, why should a owner hire a manager? So we've talked about a lot of owners that self-manage and they like doing it. They know they're competent, and others who, don't care about it. They're busy doing their other job or whatever else. So what do you think the value is in bringing a property manager into the picture?
Sure. And there's two ways I have to approach this. And one is I always have to back them, what's their goal, right, is what matters, right? I know people that manage a smaller, a happy amount of properties for them, and that's what they want, which is fine. And I have to remind myself of that, right? Because I am a growth guy, so what I want from my portfolio is very different, right? Some people can manage their own and they're happy. And to that, I say there's a reason I've chaired the Independent Owners Committee and I enjoy it. I honestly think some people can, but I know a lot of people can't. So the value of us are two things. One, if you really want to grow, you can't sit there and be that nuanced in your property and be the guy fixing the microwave and actually grow. You simply can't do it. So if your goal is to grow, and what I've learned now, if that's what makes you happy, God bless you, do it, right? But for most of us that are using this as an investment vehicle and want to grow it, that's what you'll get trapped in. You'll get trapped in this cycle, and you had one property, and 10 years later you have one property, and 20 years later you have one property. That's what happens if you don't have someone with experience looking at it, right? That's a huge thing. And then there's just the day-to-day, right? There's the obvious that we're there as a shield in a way, right? I got a fiduciary duty. So if something bad, right? Like I don't want to treat people poorly either, but back to there's rules, right? I can enforce the rules generally better than a lot of owners can. That is the number one. Owners come to us often. It's a mess, right? And it's my job to explain two things. One, yes, we can fix it. B, it's going to cost you money, right? At this point, you have a resident that owes you $8,000, probably did $8,000 in damage. I'm not going to fix this in 2 months, right? But we're going to talk in a year and see where we're at. And then we're going to talk in another year and see where we're at. And I'm like, it took you, a while to break it. It's going to take a while to fix it. But that's another key reason. And when you get to the larger properties, even when you get to apartments, having a full model of looking at the everything, we're usually better at it, right? I'm pretty good at understanding what we can get rents to, what we can do with expenses, and what that means to the value of your building, right? And that's where we can use evidence-based approach, right? I've done it with my own. I mentioned I bought a couple buildings. The first year we added over $1 million in equity to them, right? And that's what I do again and again, and that's what a property manager's job is, right? And the how you do it is some of the stuff we talked about, right? You got to treat the people right, but also the numbers. There's a whole lot, and one person tends to be good at one thing. I got brothers that are really good at fixing things. They'd be good at that. I'm really good with numbers. And as much as I believe in people, I'm not actually that great at it. I got to hire that, right? When you hire a property manager, you get all of those things. And every time I've run the numbers, you can make generally, unless you're really good at it, more money with a property manager than without. And that's the biggest thing. If at the end of the day, it's about the actual asset, what I've seen is yes, we cost money, but we generally make up that plus some. So that's the real reason to at least look at it for most people.
Yeah, that makes sense. The goals of that owner, if they want to grow or not, and whether they want to spend their time on, and how efficiently do they want to operate their property. Want to hear more on this topic? Click the link below for the full episode of Maximizing Your Property Value.